Hey everyone, it's Cameron with moneyventure.com, where I discuss best practices on investing, personal finance, and building money-making businesses. I've gotten an 87.23% return on my stock portfolio. I opened an account on March 20th of 2020, and I put $250 in there, and then I invest $50 every single week on Monday into individual companies in the stock market. In the last 8 months, I've gotten the 87% return, and here's how I did it. I narrowed down the 7 most important things that I follow every week that directly contributed to my successful portfolio thus far. And they are having a defined process, being consistent, diversifying your portfolio, letting the runners run, which we'll discuss a little bit more, spot buying opportunities, continually self-educating, and investing in companies that I know and understand and love. So in comparison, I've taken 3 market indexes, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ, over the same time frame from March 20th of 2020 to November 20th of 2020, and compared the return. So the S&P 500 had a 54.35% return. Dow Jones had 52.62% return, and the NASDAQ had 72.32% return. In comparison to my portfolio, I've been able to get 87.23% return. Keep in mind that these types of market growth and portfolio growth are not super normal since we're in a pandemic. To those who might say that I invested at a lucky time, my question to you is, why didn't you invest at the same time in March when the market was low? Again, we'll discuss buying opportunities. But the point is if we can invest in good companies and outdo the market by investing in these companies with specific characteristics, there's a lot more excitement, a lot more satisfaction, and potentially higher returns. So here's a screenshot of my portfolio. On the left-hand side, you can see the companies I've invested in with the respective positions that I own. And then on the very bottom, you can see that I've had an 87.23% return, which is a growth of about $1,745. So almost half of the portfolio is entire growth. So the first step is having a process. So you want to make sure that you define every part of your process. And some of those examples are defining your budget, making sure you understand how much you're going to invest, how often you're going to invest it, set limits on your company requirements in terms of the company size, how much cash you want them to have in comparison to their debt, founders, etc. And other parameters include, defining your time horizon, determining when you're going to sell your stocks, etc. So for me, I invest in companies with market caps between $1 billion and $100 billion who have high amounts of cash relative to their debt. They have an industry moat or competitive advantage. They have a successful founder. And I never sell my stocks unless the company has changed their fundamentals on how they do business. The second step is being consistent. So decide now rather than later. Make the decision now to invest every single week, month, whatever it might be. The third step is diversification. So if you've already invested, you're probably familiar with this term. Diversifying simply means don't put all your eggs in one basket. So in other words, we want to make sure we have different companies with different sizes that are in different industries and even different geographic locations. Step 4 is letting the runners run. And this means you'll often come across a company that you buy at a good price and it's grown dramatically. And some people might say that company is now overpriced. Oftentimes, the overpriced companies are overpriced for years, according to the experts. So the point is, if they're overpriced and they're still growing, chances are they're going to continue growing at that rate. And so there's nothing wrong with buying more of those shares of that company that's doing so well, and just letting them run their course and continue growing. An example in my portfolio is both Fiverr and Zillow. I bought them at really low prices. They're growing dramatically. And even though some people might consider them to be overpriced, I still buy more shares because they're doing great things and their companies are growing like crazy. Step 5 is spot buying opportunity. There's generally 3 different types of buying opportunities. The first is sentimental market movements, which are market movements based on fear or excitement with no fundamental reason. Economic events is another opportunity. Events such as economic updates, job updates, economic growth updates, events such as pandemics, for example, If we know anything about history, it's that the stock market always returns to new highs even after a recession. So if you're able to put yourself on a position where you can buy more stock during these down periods, chances are you're going to be able to increase your overall portfolio growth. And lastly, insider transactions. Use this one with caution, but it simply means investing or looking for companies, or looking at the companies you already own and determining when executives of that company are actually buying more shares. Because if they're buying more shares, chances are they're doing it for a reason, and that's because they believe the company is obviously going to go up in the near future. Step 6 is always self-educating. I'm a part of multiple stock clubs, such as My Wall Street, the Motley Fool, Seeking Alpha. I subscribe to Yahoo Premium just for additional information, to learn from others and to improve upon my portfolio. Other self-education is through books. Reading popular books like Buffetology by Mary Buffett, or One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. And lastly, simply through trial and error. Mistakes are going to happen. The important thing is that you learn from them and don't let them keep happening. And step 7 is simply investing in what you know and love. So at the bottom here, you can see there's multiple, industries that I'm very familiar with and I love. The gig economy, I use Fiverr. I realize its value. I've made a significant amount of money through Fiverr and freelance services, so I know the value that they provide. And I was able to invest in them at around $25 a share, and they're now worth over $150, $170 right now, as of this recording. Real estate, I invested in Zillow. I know the value that they provide. Technology I use, such as my Apple Watch or Roku devices. I don't have Apple in this portfolio, but I do have Apple stock in other of my portfolios. It's another good example to invest in what you know and love. Other ideas are companies like Stitch Fix. I don't like going out and shopping all the time, so Stitch Fix sends me my personalized apparel straight to my door every month, and I essentially have a fashion designer that picks out my clothes for me, and I send back what I don't like. And lastly, fitness. Peloton is a great company. I was skeptical at first, but once I tried out the app, fell in love, and now I'm a strong investor in Peloton. So the results of following these types of strategies is potentially market-beating returns. And as of right now, again, I've had an 87.23% return. And I hope it continues going this way, and we'll keep you updated as I provide updates on my portfolio. But if you follow these 7 steps, chances are you're going to have a pretty successful portfolio just like this one.